Yeah. What up? We are live in living color. What's poppin', everybody?
Hey.
Hello.
What's poppin', y'all?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
This is Activist Hour by Violence in Boston, brought to you by Disrupt Boston. I am your co-host, Calvin Feliciano, a.k.a. J Troll, aka Troll J Simpson, aka Nat King Troll, aka Supreme Leader Ayatrola Komeni, leader of the Troll Patrol. Squad up.
Yo, I feel it, bro.
You know I had to practice that.
Yo, you watch Jesus and Miro? Yep, I feel
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on now. Give me some credit. I had to practice that. Down with the Troll Illuminati out here. What up, Angelica? How's everybody doing? We are here. I'm your co-host. Our host, Monica Cannon Grant, gave birth to a baby.
A beautiful baby. It's so
She
cute.
got like a 2-3 week old baby out here. A whole life is here. So shout out to Monica Cannon Grant. Shout out to young Prince CJ. I call him Prince Clark Zulu Papoose. Shakur Jr. Make sure you put Prince in the beginning. But so shout out to them. Enjoy that baby. We are kicking off. It's about to go down. We got amazing people here with us. Introduce yourselves, please, for the people.
My name is Malachi Unique. That's not really my name, but y'all need to know my government, and you can find me online as Malachi Unique, so it's cool.
Malachi Unique, that means she woke. She changed her name, made it a little bit more woke.
Unique's always been my name.
Land, that's what's up.
Unique's my middle name, so people
Is it,
people
like,
don't
straight
believe
up?
it. Yeah, it's my middle
Government?
name. Yeah.
Oh, that's fire. That's dope. We got to do some of that.
My name's Alejandra Tejeda, and you can find me pretty much anywhere with that.
Exactly. That one pops off.
That one-
Although
it
there's a
works.
million Latinas on Alejandra Tejada from
It works.
several Latino groups too. Just FYI.
But if you want to really find me, you'll find me.
Oh man. So we want to start off, man. I mean, the first segment's gonna be our activist highlight. And I want to highlight y'all, and I want y'all to explain some of your background and your activism to people, because I have seen y'all, I think, for the last 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
In the teen empowerment circles, in the youth circles, in the last year, so heavily on the criminal justice stuff was amazing. You guys with Leon Rivera, shout out to the homie Leon Rivera, and Heroin in Boston, Needles in the Park. But I've seen y'all going in. Y'all have been mad inspirational.
Thank you.
Mad inspirational, man. And I also be hating because y'all remind me of when I was 21. Seeing y'all at like at 18, I was like, damn it, I was 18.
That is the greatest compliment I've gotten, at least this week.
I used to be young. I had full braids. I was popping out here. You know how easy it is to pick up people when you're doing the whole braids thing? When you're the like Puerto Rican hood dude with braids.
Do you have the
Oh,
zigzaggy?
man.
You had the
No. Did you have the zigzag?
Super long ends. I used to like the straight backs.
Straight backs are cuter.
But I had long ends. My ends was hanging.
I can imagine.
That was the
You
biggest
were flinging
cleanup.
them. You were like,
Oh my
But
god.
Alejandra's sworn off Puerto Rican. So.
yeah.
Major icebreaker when you can just be like, yo, do you braid? Oh, you look like somebody that braid, but I need somebody to braid my hair. You know what I mean? You can just kick it off like
This would
that.
be me. I
I
don't
know,
break
I
nothing.
don't do it.
No, I don't. Yo, me. No, you don't ask me.
Are you Puerto Rican?
Dominican.
Dominican.
Yeah.
Yo, we gotta fix this PRDR thing.
I agree.
I hate it.
I agree.
'Cause I love Dominicans.
Yeah, I like Puerto Ricans. I agree
Damn,
with
son. And it'd be messed up because so I go to Dominican barbers. I feel like the world, you just gotta find a Dominican barber. No matter what town you at.
I agree, yeah.
Even if it's hardcore Brazilian, whatever it is, find you the Dominican barbers, right?
Hairdresser
So hairdresser, hey, look, I mean, I don't know that the Dominican hairdressers are fire. I
They
know
are.
as a man, I know the Dominican.
hook it up.
Oh,
They
wow,
hook it
wow,
up.
they
They
popping. Shout out to Dominicans for y'all hair
Facts.
skills. But
Bunny, what's up?
word. But I noticed they'd always be like talking ish, and I would notice body get thrown around a ton.
Oh, yeah.
And then hanging with my Dominicans in Springfield, I would hear them saying that, like, oh, el body, and I'm like, yo, what does that mean? And they're like, oh, for the Boricua, short for Boricua. And I'm like, oh. So then I met my Dominican barber in East Boston, and he's like, oh, el body, yeah. And I'm like, hey, easy with that shit. Come on. Like, I understand what y'all are saying now.
See, now I get
but
it.
calm down. And one time I was talking to one of my Dominican sisters who's my heart from Worcester, and I had just moved to town, so I needed a weed plug. I'm like, yo, you got it, because I need it, because I'm just moving to Worcester. It's like 2013. And she's like, oh, this is my girl. She's like, she's Puerto Rican, but she's all right. She's a good person. I'm like, hey, come on. And I'm literally talking to her. But I don't take that personal because I've grown up in my Puerto Rican community seeing such that on the other side. So much so, just super hilarious. The like anti-Dominican
Yeah.
thing coming from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, there's a lot of stigma between, which doesn't make sense because we have kids with each other like all the time. So you would expect that our relations as like two countries as people would be better.
We both come from the Taino.
We also make the same food pretty much, like of the like Caribbeans and like Latin Americans. We make the same food, and we steal each other's food. Like nothing. Like my mom makes coquito, like if that's hers.
Word.
And I'm like, so what's the hate? Where's the hate?
And it's wild. One time, one of my peoples was entertaining some friends from work, and they were like, one woman was from like Colombia, the other one was from Mexico. She was like, oh, we need to find, I forget what they said, Venezuelan. She was like, yeah, no Dominicans though. And I was like, this is so funny.
Yo, they hate on
how
Dominicans.
you as a Puerto Rican, I'm like, who do you think's closer to you, just culturally? The Dominicans from the Caribbean that are like 100 miles from your shore, or the Argentinians from South America, from the other
Germans
continent?
Anyway.
And we speak
Half of them are
Spanish
from
the
Germany,
most
like-
similar. Like Latin Americans don't speak Spanish like Puerto Ricans or Dominicans.
No way.
Like I'm out here looking at like a Peruvian, like get the what? Like
That's how
a Puerto Rican, that's ya tu sabes, like that's firm, like.
Black people are fun because any light skin is Puerto Rican. Like you have a light skinned baby, like we all are. It looks Puerto Rican. That's what it means.
Yo, shout out to Melissa Andrews. Shout out to Angelica Tony Acevedo. Love you, my sister. Shout out to the homie Clark Grant. Clark Grant, man, brand new papa.
Yeah.
It's been real powerful to see the
Congratulations.
brother on Facebook.
That's so awesome.
You know, and of course, that is Clark Grant, aka Boston's Papoose, aka Mr. Black Love, aka Big Sexy, aka Slanger of Vibranium.
Yo.
Because he's,
Yo.
you know, he's holding out here. So all right, let's go. Let's do this highlight, man.
Hi. Well, yeah, my name is Malika Unique. Well, that's what I go by. Malaysia to some of you, I guess. But I've basically been doing profit work since I was like 14 years old. I started at this organization called Native American Lifelines, where we help like Native American people, you know, get like health care and that sort of thing. And then from there,
That's fire.
basically my next job was teen empowerment, which I started at 17. I was about to turn 18 a few months after, but I started that in like January of 2015, and I worked at teen empowerment for about 2.5 years until August of 2017. And,
Were you a YO and a program coordinator, or just one?
I was a YO, and then I was a associate program coordinator.
Got it. YO is youth organizer.
Yeah. And so I was a YO for I think it was almost exactly 2 years I was a YO, and then I became they added a new job, community engagement organizer. I was that for like a year, and then I became a associate program coordinator.
Sounds like an ethnic job title. That's when they trying to give us a job but don't want to call us directors.
Facts.
That's the real truth right there.
We did so much out there. Alejandro was one too, but and then I was associate program coordinator. That was really cool because I'd really like grown beyond being a youth organizer. Being a youth organizer for like that long, it's cool, but like it gets like I can't do this anymore. Of
course.
And then
Damn contracts, losing money. They used to give me
I
with them
never got a
contracts
contract.
I got contracts all the time. I
never-
got fired my
I
first
never
year.
got one.
I never got a contract.
I got
ever.
contracts.
But yeah, and then it was cool, like help, like running the program, like doing warm ups and choosing the interactive and stuff like that. And then like this past summer, I worked at Mass Inc. I was a intern there, and I did a lot of research into like the Massachusetts court system and the DAs and the public defender's office. So that was a interesting, because it was like the difference between being on the ground in the community and being inside an office, like really studying the trends when it comes to like criminal justice issues, and really finding the data to support what the community is saying. I think that's really important. I think that's something we miss out a lot as organizers. We have a lot of like personal stories, personal experience, but we don't necessarily always have the stats to back it up, even though we know it's happening, we know it's true. And I think what we're missing is like a organization that really delves into those stats to really convince these people in power that what we're going through is real and valid. But I'm gonna stop that real quick. So.
Yes, indeed. These little young poetic sisters out here, little young guns, ready to go. I can't wait to be helping y'all get elected to office, both of y'all. I cannot wait, man. I hope that's not like 10 years down the road. I hope it's
We're trying to make that happen sooner. We're trying to make that happen.
Yes.
I'm on board. All right, go ahead, homie.
All right, so I pretty much started working at Teen Empowerment. When?
2016.
2016. Yeah, the fall of 2016, because Malaysia worked there. I also just wanted to do like social activism work, so I was like, where can I work? Malaysia works there, and she does fun stuff, and I thought that would be a great way for me to kind of get involved. So I did pretty much the same trajectory as Malaysia. I was a youth organizer for less time, because I came in and they were like, oh, you're like Malaysia. Y'all are hip to the
That means you have to do more work than anybody else. So.
Yeah.
Except for Nate. Shout out to Nate Nix. He's probably not watching, but Nate Nix, he's a great rapper. Y'all should listen. He's on Spotify. He's on Apple Music. He's on Amazon. That's my man's. I love that man. Thank me later, Nate.
Yeah, you should have Nate on the
This is
show.
a good plug. Yeah, we should. We could also play his music, and we can play it without it being taken down, because it's his music.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely do that.
Perfect.
Yo, Nate, we'll make that happen on the strength of these dope young sisters.
Yeah, so I worked at Teen Empowerment, was a YO, a community engagement organizer, was the associate program coordinator, just like Malaysia. And then we left all at the same time, so Teen Empowerment had like a grand exodus, like most people left. I'm just keeping it a buck,
Hey,
like
yo,
we all kind of
Stan,
left.
AKA Stiz. Look at what you just lost,
Facts.
fam. How you have an exodus that include these two young sisters?
So I now kind of work in like corporate America a little bit. I work in a financial firm. I just finished college like a month ago.
Damn it, she sold out.
Facts. But wait, it's for now, till I get them loans paid off a little bit. If you can help me find a job, like I'll work like anywhere really, but I'm
I'm
working where I
scheming on
get a
y'all both
paycheck.
for DAPOC. I started this talent hunting agency for people of color called DAPOC, Dope Ass People of Color, DAPOC. And I'm basically looking for dope Black and Latino people, mainly women,
That's us.
that can work in organizing jobs at unions, and they're
Also
very
us.
well paying.
Oh, I love
and
unions.
they're dope,
Even better.
and we could use your skills for real, for real.
I'm always down. You know my resume's always ready.
I plugged 16 people so far. I got 2 that I'm working on currently and 4 in the pipeline. So yeah, but go ahead.
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, we've just been like both of us have been trying to find our way back into social work. So that's kind of like why we started going to events a lot. Also, our interests.
Good.
We love going to debates, so we started going to the like DA debates and the governor's debates because we want to see who gets elected.
Yeah.
Those
And-
wrap-ups y'all were doing with Leon, man, were everything.
Yeah.
I love seeing that.
Yeah, that's why we were thinking
Even
about.
when he got checked that time outside the car, he had to step off
He
the
left
car.
us like children in
Yo,
the
I
car.
I was like, Dad, why are you taking so long?
Thanos, aka. First of all, shout out to Thanos. She's in. She is now
Facts.
Suffolk
Rachel
County District
Rollins.
Attorney Rachel Rollins. What?
Woo!
What? But AKA, she will always be Thanos in our hearts. Yeah, she pulled up on him.
Yeah,
Pulled him out the whip and everything. Pulled him out that
He-
whip and everything.
Yeah, we were all like, what's happening? Like, is he okay?
He was getting checked. This was happening.
Yeah.
She don't play no game. Y'all saw, we interviewed her twice.
She does not play
don't
one.
Play no games.
And that's what I always loved about
Oh
her.
my God.
It worried me at first. Like
Oh.
in one of our first things with Santiago, like that was my worry, is that voters, especially the white voters in our city, would not like her
Yeah.
because she's a black woman
Yeah.
and she's willing to speak up. And that's 2 things that liberal white people in Boston hate.
Yeah.
They hate black women
they
that are
hate-
willing to speak. That's why
and
they
they-
hate Monica.
and they hate
that's why
black
they're
people.
trash.
And they hate
that's
black
why all of you are
people.
trash that hate Monica. Just want to say that.
Damn,
And they-
all of y'all are trash that hate Mo.
Yo.
Just want to say that. 'cause
And
people
all
be
y'all,
hating.
and all y'all that keep commenting weird shit on her post, get off the page if you don't like it, bro. Like, she don't want to be bothered with that. Like, I don't understand.
Oh, they're wild.
We both be ready to like fight. Like when I see Monica's post in the morning, I'm like, this woman has been up all night with a baby, and y'all are bothering her. If y'all don't hop off her page, hop off
Yo.
her phone, hop off her life for at least a year.
Bro,
Hop off her D,
if
son.
y'all want to argue with someone, come argue with me. I'm always here. I'm always ready. like I don't
But she
care,
want that
bro.
smoke. That unique smoke. Are y'all ready for that?
Like let a woman recover. Like
Jeez.
We need some, Mike, we need to first, I needed to say shout out to our Disrupt crew. Shout out to the homie Brian Murphy. Shout out to the homie, Michael Doobie. We need to get a soundboard, man. We need some air horns. I'm going to make some up. Air horns. I do that all the time around the house on some real obnoxious stuff, and my 6-year-old does it, and my wife hates it. So shout out to my baby, Jahira Feliciano.
Yes.
She hates it. We be in the house. I be like left and right. I'll sneak up on her. She'll be like coming out the bathroom. I'm that obnoxious husband. I'll wait like 12 minutes for her to come. I'll wait like 45 minutes for her to come out. I'll be standing there like just in motion, waiting for her to open the door. And the second she opens the door, I'm like, whoa. I'll do. I'm like, "Bwah, bwah, bwah."
Yeah, my reflexes are set up in a way that you get swung on every single day because you'd be out there. I'd be like,
I done got swung on. No, she violent. I done got swung on. And it wasn't even reflexes. It was intentional, like Boricua Latina psychoness.
Like,
I got swung
scaring
on. I got
me.
swung on.
Oh man.
So did you have anything else
No,
on your background? You sure?
Yeah.
I want to move into this thing because it's very near and dear to my heart. And we're going to talk about, shout out to everybody watching, yo. Shout out to Ricky Grant Jr., Pretty Ricky, what they call him. Shout out to Sasha, Mike Jordan. Shout out to Peter Lynn, Marcus, Lena, Bobby, Ben, Carlos, Diaz, Dietra, D. Hade, Ivis Fernandez, Alejandra, who's here, and Sharice Perry. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
Teen empowerment.
Teen empowerment.
Teen empowerment.
Yeah.
Yeah, teen empowerment, it really has been a huge part of my life for, like, I feel like really some of my most important, like, formative years, because when I was 17 years old, I was just, you know, it was my senior year of high school. I was just, like, getting out of, like, 2-3 years of really, like, serious depression, and, you know, like, social justice, helping my community, that was stuff I always wanted to do, but I never, like, found an actual organizational avenue to do it. I talked about it a lot. I talked about politics and that sort of stuff. And, you know, when teen empowerment, like, kind of came along into my life, it was like a place where I was like, yo, I could do this, what I've been wanting to do for so long. And, like, I think it was an important part of my development into this because, like, you know, I've always been a person who's into, like, you know, helping people and that sort of thing, but I think it really helped me hone in on it helped me understand issues better than I had before in positive ways and in negative ways also, because, you know, it had me connecting with people in, like, life stations that, you know, were nothing like mine. Like, so we both went to Latin Academy, and that was cool. So, but, like, in a way, going to an exam school in Boston is you're disconnected.
Y'all are like exactly the reasons why they're trying to keep us out of exam school. By the way, because y'all go into places like you said, learn the inside and the outside and the policies, and this one's in corporate America, and, like, that's the problem right there.
Inside outside strategy.
Facts.
If you don't take them out from the in, you can't take them out at all.
Come on,
Yeah, you know.
y'all are too young to be thinking like this.
Man, who's gonna do it, bro? There's so many people who could, and I think people get really. I think that's the cool thing about young people, is that we don't usually get too enamored by the status quo. Like, I think, you know, older people get to the point where they're like, we made a lot of progress. This is kind of good enough. But, you know, young people are like, no, we have to go further. We have to do better. And sometimes it's unrealistic because, you know, we don't have that life experience yet. But I think the optimism is useful and important to the movement.
You know, one of my main mentor and someone who's been like a father to me, Chuck Turner. Shout out to Chuck Turner. So he always told me he used to invite, like, challenges, and he used to invite push from young people, and he used to always tell me that the young people's job is to push. He's like, we need y'all and your energy to push. Yes, the old folks are gonna push back because we're stuck in our ways. Like, he was so woke about it. He was like, yes, we're stuck in our ways, we're on cruise control, and we need y'all to push. When young people get co-opted or stopped from pushing, it kills our movement because we need that energy. They need us to be pushing and being like, no, that's not right. Because you could be a black person from the 20s and be like, y'all got it mad good now. How you complaining about Trayvon Martin? Like, we got killed on a regular. Like, you could always do that. There's women, and there have been. Huh? We have a call. Okay, already. Here we go. Caller, who that? Who there? Caller, who that? Who there? Do we have a caller? We had a caller. Yo, call back. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, the civil rights movement was based off of young people doing most of the, like, groundwork, working and pushing.
Yes.
Although you had, like, Malcolm X and, like, Martin Luther King, you had young people pushing, and especially the southern states, just pushing and grinding.
When Huey P got killed, he was 18 years. That dude was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Running the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. Running a statewide chapter.
Yeah,
18 years old.
She did a
Everything white people have to, like, eliminate. Because like you doing. But Teen Empowerment, tell us, how'd you get with Teen Empowerment?
So I got with Teen Empowerment because of Malaysia.
Okay.
So what was it? That summer I did a teaching internship and I decided I did not want to teach. I decided that wasn't for me. Like I thought that was going to be the way that I gave back, but I was like, that's not. Yeah, I was bugging big time. Because I was like, I won't be able to do what I want. I won't be able to say what I want. I won't be able to give the paths of a non-profit.
You are such a hood. Like this, how you. Why are you acting so institutionalized right now? She's holding some Scooby-Doo. Fruit snacks.
I was trying not to get the sound in the mic.
And she didn't, so she's holding it down. She's like, yo, chill. Don't be blowing up my spot. I got these Scooby snacks. She's apparently fresh home from jail. She done did 15 years. She's institutionalized. And she's like, you're like that person on Don't Be a Menace. He's like, yo, hold it down, man. Hold it down.
This is the first time she's seen that Scooby-Doo snacks change, and she kind of upset. You know, she just came out from, you know.
Word.
Yo, it's different. Why is the blue not opaque anymore? No, but I was trying not to make the noise, on the microphone. Distract the people, harass them.
Oh, hold on. Bobby Constantino, one of my favorite moments from the whole campaign was when I saw Malika, Alejandra, and Leon doing a debrief in the car after one of the candidate forums, and they were so on point. I was like, wow, the youth got this covered.
Yes, my beloved white uncle, Bobby Constantino.
The homie Bobby. Yo, man, that was the same one, by the way, where Thanos rolled up on that car and pulled the homie Leon out.
Yeah, she was like, what happened?
Yeah, he got pulled out the whip. She'll check you. Originally, I was with
that's what I like.
She was ready to go.
That's what I like about her.
No games. So, TE. So I've been thinking about this because I knew you guys were coming on. And TE and I grew up in the South End in the Villa Victoria. I was very much involved from like 12 on. We were involved in the gang stuff, in the drug stuff, and everything, right? So. One thing, thank God, that my mother always instilled in me was trying to have a job, especially since like if you're selling drugs. Like once we used to get caught sometimes. One time I got caught with like $400. Like I got stopped by a cop and he took it off. You're like, they'll take it from you if it's not in the wallet. You gotta have, they can seize it. You know, you can't be 15 with like $400 in your pocket, right? And so you gotta have. So I would have pay stubs with me, my TE pay stubs, because I was selling drugs the whole first year.
That's a flex. That's a good flex.
I used to have pay stubs with me. At 13, I worked at McDonald's and I was a local weed man. I worked in dollar stores. I had so many jobs, and I always had pay stubs with me. So they'll stop me with like $600 in cash, fucked up messed up ones and fives and tens and 20s. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of craziness. And I would also be like, but I have a paycheck from this Friday for $200. And like, if you see I'm getting paid once, I could have got paid before. All this money could be like it.
I could have been saving for a pair of sneakers. Do you know where I'm walking to?
Right.
You don't know where I'm going.
Right.
Very smart.
They hated me because I was one of those like jailhouse lawyers who went in and out the system. Like I got arrested so much, and I learned the game.
Yeah.
And when you pay your lawyer, they give you gems that you can use in the future. So after having probably over $1,000 at different times seized illegally and stolen basically by cops, I started to be like, okay. And I learned from a paid lawyer that you have to keep it in your wallet because then they can't even look through it. So they're not able to open the wallet and look through money. Anyway, I got off on a tangent. I'm sorry. But so I was, one day I was hustling, and this girl came through the hood. And yo, this is like the number one way, sadly, men, because we trash. The number one way you're gonna get us to anything positive is through girls, right? If we're young. If you're trying to get like young hoodlums, 15 to 19, the ladies is where we're gonna go, right? So I'm in the park, we in the park, chilling, I'm pumping, I got everything going. I see this girl, I'm like, whoa, she bad. She handing out flyers for teen empowerment. She was like one of their teen empowerment people. I know, we're so terrible. It's so terrible. That's my introduction.
Okay, but I've done similar things. If you see a good-looking person, I didn't do that. But you know, if you see somebody fine,
y'all hear the hot takes.
You see somebody with a nice flyer, you're like, I'll take that flyer. Like, you look good.
Like, what's up? What you doing?
I like to imagine I was the hot girl handing out flyers. Like,
yeah, but I always was rough handing out them flyers. I wasn't out in Roxbury just handing out flyers like.
Yo, so I seen the flyer and then I looked at it and I'm like, they paying $9 an hour in 2002. I'm like, whoa, this is fire. That's almost double minimum wage. At the time, it was like $5.15. Yeah. So I was like, whoa, it's almost double minimum wage. So I follow up. Is that a call?
Yo, Eli's watching. I feel you, Eli, bro.
We got a call. Oh, the good Bishop Overseer Hassan Hall's on. He said hashtag men are trash. Not all. I won't even say it. Caller, who that? Who there?
It's Sasha.
Sasha, what up, player? My cousin Sasha?
Yes.
What up, yo?
Hey.
How are you?
How are you?
So you guys are having a conversation about teen empowerment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, she about to drop the nuclear bomb. Go ahead, fam.
We will. if we.
Is it something bad? Cause I'm ready.
Oh,
No, it's not. It's not nothing bad. I just think that it would be more supportive if, as adults, if we just play a part in it, and rather than like bringing up a lot of negativity. I just feel like back then, me growing up, my first job, I was 12 years old. I worked at Brigham's and Women's, and a lot of the jobs and a lot of the services out here, I don't see that. You know what I mean? So I just feel like if there were more, like if these teens out here if they were like on the news or like on shows like this, you know what I mean, or if they had like some type of clout and we made them feel special, I feel like they would be more involved, and in positive things.
Yes, I feel you too. That's what I mean.
Like, it's just kind of hard to explain because a lot of the things that is known out here for these teens is just fighting and who's better than who, and I just feel like we should just support each other and make each other feel special. And like, it's hard for me to explain, but I just feel like if there was more opportunities for these teens out here, it would be a much better place.
I think that's why it's important that we like kind of fight for youth jobs and that sort of thing, because that always kind of gets lost in translation when we're talking about fixing our communities. We don't realize that giving people opportunities is the way to stop the violence in our communities. That's fun, like fully funding schools and fully funding after school programs and having youth jobs for not
just
how 1,000 or however many youth the mayors whatever fund
15 racks.
like we
Right, but like, look at this, right? Check this out, right? Because money is a big issue for our communities, and a lot of people are not willing to fund these type of things. It's always good that these teens, since they're in school right now, they build some type of credit towards college or something. You know what I mean? Give them that credit and make them feel like they're working towards something, to make them feel like they, like they're not being left out. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. You know what I mean? Because if we look at the reality, it's, money is a huge issue. So because these services are not willing to fund and pay these people, these teens, for these teens to actually be productive in life, I just feel like maybe some type of credit, maybe some type of certificate, like, hey, this can go on their resume. Like, you know how you do internship when you're in college and stuff like that? Give them some type of credit so they can put this on a resume and graduate through these programs and say, you know what, they accomplished it. I guarantee you, if these teens or these kids out here or the youth or whatever you want to call it, if they actually get credit, some type of credibility to the things that they do, I guarantee you it will be a much better place.
Word.
yeah
Yo,
Things will
thank you.
change.
Yo, thank you, fam.
I
Thank
feel
you,
you.
fam.
Thank you for calling.
I'm actually, we gotta talk, because I gotta have you on. We gotta expose the educational justice system.
Facts.
So I'm gonna have you on. But thank you for calling in, fam.
Yep.
So I think she's right. I think we need a whole change in the curriculum of BPS.
Yeah.
A whole complete change, and we had to incorporate a lot of things like safe driving, financial literacy, civic engagement, and social justice, non-violence, specifically for boys. Thank you so much. Specifically for boys, what we can call better men classes.
Yeah.
How to be a good man, how to be a woke and good man in the world.
And what's needed if we are going to do that is Black and teachers of color, because I mean, I personally had probably more than most people, teachers of color, like a lot more than most people do, but youth need to see people in positions of power that look like them to feel that they can do it too, even if it's subconscious, even if they're not thinking to themselves, oh, no one looks like me, I can't do it. It's subconscious. Like when you only see faces that don't look like yours in positions of power, you start to feel like you can't get there.
Gotta look like us.
And there are so many young people I know that, like, when you talk about selling drugs, do we ever think about how much, thought and entrepreneurial skills go into selling drugs, keeping track, making sure you didn't give this person too much, making sure you break it, you're doing better, not just breaking even, like that's a lot of thought. And if we can translate that thought into, other things, like we would be so successful. We ignore, the talents of young people, and we don't really give them a chance to use it in a way that they're able to be creative and self-sufficient. We want to hold
Future,
them
man.
hostage.
There's hope for us. There's hope.
Oh yeah.
But yo, so back to TE.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to there ish. It's great. I'm bought in.
Mm-hmm.
I get the job. But why yo? We out here, right? And then so you know how they work 3:30 to 6:30?
Yeah.
I used to be there till 10 o'clock. My first year, it was like karate. I was like, yeah, you know how you walk into karate, like, yeah, I'm gonna learn how to bust on my ass out here. And I'm gonna be just like breaking people off left and right. And then you learn discipline and you don't want to do that. So a year in, I'm building with them, chilling with them. I don't know if y'all know Craig McClay y'all know Optimus from the Foundation Movement.
Maybe.
He used to be a program coordinator. Jennifer Bannister still works there. She's in Rochester.
Okay.
And it was Craig McClay who used to do like their media stuff. And like,
Oh yeah.
they were
I think I
paying
know.
us, yo. Like they were paying us. It was dope, and it was all about youth leadership. Like they showed me how to do trainings, how to lead interactives. I
Yeah.
was dope with the interactives.
Yeah, we went to like the Bremer and May school at one point to do a like this super rich. Where is that school even? It's in Newton or Chestnut Hill
Yeah.
to do like a training on
social.
Was it social racial justice something? It was years ago, but it was awesome. Like, and it was just a bunch of like prep school kids, and they were like so into it, and we're like, this is crazy. Like.
Yo, but like that work right there, that was the work that changed my life. Is that like I would stay there learning. Like I got expelled from school in the 10th grade. I was like a semester in. So like I wasn't going to school. So with them, they would be teaching me stuff. So I learned about politics. You used to get hooked on it like crack. Like I was like, oh snap, this is ill. I know this, I know that. And then I remember one time I would come to them with questions. The next day I come early, come at 3 because I wasn't even going to school, right? So I come at noon sometimes because they'll be there. And I was spending less time on the block selling drugs.
Yeah.
I was not getting in trouble as much. I get out of work and my buddies would be like, oh, your boys got arrested. I'd be like, damn, I would have got bagged if I was out there, but I was at TE. So I got so woke and I learned so much info. I was Googling everything, Wikipedia and Google and all this and finding information. I was like, boom, I was so open like a sponge. And at 18, after a year in TE, I was like, I gotta change my life. At one point, one of my mans came to me on the block. He's like, yo, can I get 3 for 20? I'm like, of course. I give him 3 bags. The buddy give me $20. And I'm like, yo, by the way, man, you gotta come to the peace conference. I had weed in one pocket.
Yeah.
I had like 13 bags of weed.
We can't tell those teen empowerment
and
stories,
I had
man.
flyers on the other pockets in the peace
It might be
conference.
too recent for me, but we
never
used to
stopped.
throw waves after every teen empowerment
Come
event.
on.
We throw a wave.
Come on.
None of my coworkers come at me for this, but yeah, we used to throw waves after every teen empowerment.
I wasn't there.
She a liar because she was there before she even worked there.
She the connect. Her last name, Tejada. She the connect.
See,
the
you
connect.
don't want to go there with that history.
And in the new world, since the future is female, she not poppy, she mommy. That's the
Facto.
connect. That's mama.
Facto.
That's mama right there. She the plug.
Man.
But no, man, I mean, that stuff got me hooked, and I got so into activism for like 2 years. I'm wilding, just like y'all. Like, that's why it was so emotional for me to just see. I'm wild. I'm going to everything. I'm going to this, that, bioterror lab protests, gentrification, youth jobs. I'm like, yo, this is a setup. I'm in a block, mad woke. You know that like street thug turned activist?
Yes.
That like Farrah convict?
Like-
That's me. We on
Like,
the block
do the right
racing. I'm
thing
like,
or
yo, but
something?
do y'all know about gentrification though? They about to kick us out of the South End. We can't even live
you
here
were
no
and
more.
you were right.
Yeah, facts.
But I was mad woke with my friends, and then Chuck Turner saw that, and 2 years later, at 19 years old, he's like, yo, you should come work in my office. And I'm like, what? And I'm in City Hall. 19 years old, fresh off the block, and I'm working in City Hall as an aide. And I just was hooked, and I never looked back. And that was 18 years old, 17 and 18. I'm now 33, never been bagged, good man, good dad. And I became an activist through that work. Because it wasn't, with teen empowerment, it's youth leadership, social justice. It's not the other jobs where you're hiring. It's not red shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not out here like painting fences.
Yeah.
You was organizing.
Facts. And through that organizing, not only were you helping your community, like you said, you were enriching yourself. You were discovering leadership skills. Like, I know a lot of people who learned how to write speeches better there and stuff like that. Discovering that you're a poet or a dancer or a singer, or, whatever, and really using that to not only better the community you were in, and plan events and talk to the police or whatever you're doing, but really, developing even like skills when it comes to like talking to politicians and stuff like that. You don't always see, especially back then, you didn't see a bunch of youth that would, you'd bring a group of youth to the state house and have them read speeches and have them talk to the elected officials.
Oh
like
my God.
that was not a thing. But teen empowerment, like that's a place where people could really, really do that. And like no matter my issues with that organization, I stayed there for a long time, and I had a reason for it, and I really like it really is like a part of me, and it has been for a long time. So I always have love for teen empowerment.
We got a good question from the good bishop.
Ooh.
Shout out to the good bishop, Rasan Hall.
What's up?
Bishop Overseer. First of all, y'all
Our dear
so
Uncle
young.
Rasan.
Do y'all even remember those 1990s answer machines? That it would be like a song and then the person would come on. Do you remember those? You know he was killing it.
Oh yeah. He was a smooth operator. He was like,
slaying those.
Because he's a reverend, so you have to talk that way. You gotta have the
smooth operator. Yo, okay, this one's on something. I can see it being like, love is child.
You've called Rasan.
Lover boy. Yeah, then he just comes on. Yeah, you reach Raw.
Facts, Raw.
Not home right now, but you can page me.
Oh, Lord.
Leave a number. I'll hit you back. Then it comes on. Then he comes back. He comes back. Yeah. Like, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now after that trollery, we're gonna get to the question. I'm interested in hearing about what's the bridge that take TE youth activists to the next level of engagement. Ooh.
So, do you wanna
go first?
That I think is you've hit on, I believe, what is one of the problems with that organization, is that there is not always an end game. Like for people like me and Alejandro, we're privileged in the sense is that like I said, we went to an exam school. People expect us to just continue on, but when you age out of teen empowerment, for a lot of people, it's you haven't like you're not directed toward you. There's no direct like a lot of staff
teen empowerment
turnover.
in the past 5-10 years, a lot has been changing, and there hasn't been enough stability.
Yeah.
We saw that there wasn't enough that we could do, and we weren't helping connect people with resources when we needed to, and that was we were losing. I'm gonna spill some tea. At one point, we lost most of our male youth.
Same.
At one point, we lost most our what's it called? What's the word for it?
High. What do they call high risk?
High risk. Yeah.
We lost most of them.
Yeah.
And at that point, we're like, okay, but these kids are still out there, and they're gonna need help, and they're not here.
Yeah.
And they're not spending those 3 hours that they should be with TE. They're out there again.
Yeah, it's not.
And that was really hard for me to take, because you go there to try and make a difference, but the people there sitting right next to you were kind of going back into it.
I mean, I haven't talked about this. I've been not talking about this for a long time, but to be honest, how teen empowerment was, it's better. It's a lot better now. But how teen empowerment was when me and Alejandro left it was not going in a direction that was positive. They were hemorrhaging male staff of color. The program staff had no males of color on it, and that is a big deal. They lost 2 in 2 years, and or 2 in 2 years, and it was not going in a very good direction. I'm not, I don't want to talk about anybody else's personal stuff, but I quit because I felt that I was not being treated as I should have. We were working so much. We were supposed to be in training. We were associate program coordinators. We were supposed to be in training. We did the job of a program coordinator, and I don't know if anyone would say differently, but they're wrong. We did the job of a program coordinator. We were there every day at 9 a.m. doing all this and this and that. And like I said, I love teen empowerment. I love all the people there, but we never got training. We were just dropped in and expected to go and do it. And I just experienced a lot over that time at teen empowerment. it was hard. Like it was hard for me because I'm a person who's outspoken and a person who is very, like, when it comes to things like, you know, writing and all that sort of stuff, I don't need like help. And I think it was intimidating to certain people within the organization. I mean adult staff within the organization. And when I started realizing how certain things were run, they, you know, kind of started.
It's hard.
Pushing
all
me back.
these organizations, the power that you see white people within the organization have, and then where that power should be, and how that organization should be led by people affected by the issue.
Yes.
There's a big gap there.
I think that would change everything about TE and
Yeah.
other organizations in Boston that are kind of led by white people or by older people. Sometimes these organizations don't have
Stan,
people young
I
enough.
love you, dog. I love
Facts.
my man Stan.
Facts,
Like, I
good.
love Stan. Like, that man done changed my life on some real ish. Like, yo, you know what I mean? I was there 2002 to 4. I'd be dead or in jail
Yeah.
if I wasn't for them. But when you're the old white dude who's running something for 47 years, like, it's hard. I remember at one point in my life, I was on grant making committees on a philanthropic community.
Yeah.
Like, they would like pay us basically stipends to like review grants. And I would try to help with TE, and I would always hear from funders, like, we're not looking to fund organizations run by old white men. And that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
that was
And
a
he's just leaving it like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that was a
it
huge
continued.
problem.
It
That was
continued.
one of the main problems, honestly.
I love you, dog. I bought the book. I got the book. I use the book all the time.
We
I
have-
do political
we kept the
training.
book.
The book
I got
too. That book
Icebreakers
is that
I
book
use
is
that book all the
A1.
time.
I mess with that
I'll
book.
bust out concentric circles. I'll bust out bag
Yo,
toss.
concentric circles
I'll
are my-
bust out- I love concentric
I
circles.
love concentric circles.
I'll bust out bag
too.
toss. I know interactives that I can do with big groups, small groups, when we can touch people, when you can't, like, you know, like where there's trust, where there's not, how to build
Facts.
it. I love it, man.
Like
But,
I said,
that's real.
I developed so much at Teen Empowerment, and I would not like take it back ever. Like, I would, if I had to go back, I would not do it any differently. But
You know what's sad about this whole debate? We're talking about TE, right, and some of their flaws. They're like the best to me. That shows you how bad it is
really-
out
yeah.
there. Who does youth
Yeah.
leadership
bro,
better?
no one. That's
one.
that's the
That's-
thing.
like-
That's how you know it's effed up.
Other organizations, when it came to speeches,
oh boy.
I was like,
Yo,
I
Joe,
was
you know what
like,
happened to me one time? Oh my God. So I'm working at TE my first year, right? And some dude, when you're in DYS, committed to DYS, you're in their custody till 18.
Yeah.
You're on basically parole. They bring us to a daily reporting center, DRC, right? Every neighborhood got one, so I went to the Roxbury joint. So I'm still on basically parole until I'm 18. I'm 17, I'm with Teen Empowerment.
Facts.
Some dude was at the DRC talking crazy to some of my mans, like, oh, I'm gonna get Calvin. They happen to be from there, and they set him up. They're like, yo, we'll bring you to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, say that to his face, we'll bring you to him. So they bring him around the way. He's stupid. He didn't know what was up. He was like because anyone from the hood of Boston knows that Boston's a neighborhood-based gang. You don't go to other hoods because it's not going to be, especially if someone from there is telling you they'll bring you to
which,
confront
sorry
guy.
to interrupt, that to me wasn't something that I had ever experienced, mainly because I was kept at home.
Yeah.
Like my mom and dad kept me on lock. I was always at
Good.
home. So I never experienced that. So when I started hearing that like teenage boys can't walk around their own city, like you can't walk into a different, like if you're from like Mattapan, you can't walk into Roxbury safely. I was like, something has to change about that structure,
way.
that our teenagers can't walk into another hood without needing
Yeah, even
a gun
I remember
to
one.
feel safe.
I remember one time at a teen
Yeah.
empowerment event at our basketball tournament, like some kid, like there was some kid that had smoke with this, YO, and they had to hide the kid, like, because we didn't want anything like happening. And TE, if y'all know TE, y'all know we having the bangers in TE. Like, we have people. You would think it's just a bunch of losers like me and Alejandro, like book nerds and stuff, but we have like people. They be out. I think you said dope boys one time. Like, I hope y'all said dope boys in there.
Yep.
I went in there and I said
Yes.
that. Here's why I said that, and here's why TE does it the best. Back to this. So they beat up this dude. Beat him up. Because he thought I was coming. Somebody went, oh, I'm going to go get Calvin. Came back on a bike with somebody else from the hood. I wasn't out. I was enjoying time with a young lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was at the crib. I was doing it right. I learned that part late. When you have a girl, she'll keep you out of jail. If you on the street with a bunch of guys, you're going to jail. If you're at your crib getting your hair braided and making out with your girlfriend, you're not going to jail. So, for the young male thugs out there. So, they end up stomping dude out. They say that I was there, which I wasn't, right? Like, I literally wasn't even there. But the people at the DRC thought that I was, because the dude went, he obviously talked to the police, and they brought me in on a 30-day violation and locked me up. No evidence, no process, because there's no due process. You're already custody of the state by being committed to DYS to 18. So they bag me, bring me to DYS for 30 days. I'm working at TE while it happens. I go to jail, and they bring in some youth group that got a contract through the DA's office with cops. And it's all these good kids that ain't never been involved in nothing, that don't know it, teaching kids in DYS. We're in DY. We're young hoodlums. We're in the game. We're not at risk. We risking.
Yeah,
we in jail right now.
We're there. The risk is done.
They do an icebreaker and tell me why I'm there. I'm like, can I just say that was poorly performed right now? I'm like, that was so badly executed. I'm like, first of all, where's the process to the game? Why'd we play a game and you're not even tying it to anything that teaches us anything? I'm like, icebreakers are whack. We need to move. I'm plugging Stanley's book. I'm like, we need to move beyond icebreakers. When I get out of here, y'all should come to Teen Empowerment. I'll show y'all how to facilitate a real set. I was wildin', starting youth organizing smoke from in jail.
I'm writing a movie right now in my head. I'm writing it. It's quality.
From in jail.
It's gonna be one of those feel good coming up stories. It's good.
Yo,
I'm making money off your story.
But all the groups, they always do that. They don't get dudes from the block, so you're not actually gonna solve crime.
Yes.
One time, a youth organization that I won't name came to me with some young people to do a doc on incarceration as a juvenile, and I'm talking to these cats. And at one point, I'm trying to build with him. I'm like, you know how, when that happens, when I got arrested this time, it sucked because of that. And I'm like, you know what I mean? And he was like, nah. And I went to the other dude. I'm like, you been arrested, right? He's like, no. I go to the third dude. I'm like, have you been arrested? He's like, yeah. I'm like, for what? He's like, breaking a window. I'm like, how you got me on here with some scrams talking about youth incarceration? I'm like, and why are you guys even employed with this nonprofit? Oh, I'm in school. I'm at BNBL. And I'm like, yo, come to the block and hire the goons out here.
Facts.
And get them going.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I feel like even as much as we talk about criminal justice reform, we still see these young people that are actually committing crimes. We still just say they're criminals, and I'm like, but you're talking about criminal justice reform. What? I'm confused. Why don't you go talk to the people it actually affects? That's the problem with white run organization. You need to be working with the people it actually affects, and maybe you don't know what's best. I know it's hard to hear, but sometimes you just don't know what's best. Sometimes you need to step back and actually listen to the people you're supposed to be serving and hear them, truly hear them, and implement their ideas.
So now we're going to go into the other segment, youth organizing and youth organizations. What can we say? Let's go around, let's do some tips to youth groups on how to engage young people for real and build a movement with young people. Hopefully, better be at the forefront of it, okay? So what do y'all think? What's a tip?
I think you should give people jobs. If you can afford to pay people and give them jobs, do that. Don't just be we have a cookout. Give them, let them be the face of your organization. Let them do the work on the ground. And you have to interact with the people, not the people who just come. You need to find the people who won't come. Those are the people who need you most. The people who will go out and go to an event, they don't need you as much as the people who are nah, I got to get this bag. Nah, this is stupid. Why would I go to this? Those are the people who you need to be talking to, and you need to. And I think the most important thing is that you need to respect young people as autonomous beings with their own voices, their own ideas, and ideas that are valid. Like I said, young people, we don't have the experience of older people. That's why we need each other. But young people have valid valid life stories that are life circumstances that are overlooked or underrepresented, and we need to hear those people.
I guess another.
Before you go, I just want to say that was crazy, Gems. And the one time, because every once in a while it works out, The one time that you hired a good person and they actually worked out great was hiring Alejandra. Assuming we believe what she told us about this good person and not that she was the plug. I kind of believe that she was the plug.
My dad was the plug, not I.
Okay, so she definitely was the plug.
I was never the plug.
When Latina
Rest in peace,
say my
Candelo.
dad is the plug, but
I-
not me,
Candelo.
that means she's the plug.
I stopped it. You know, I'm a nice college-educated Latina.
Lies. No, I'm
Okay,
kidding.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, she's the plug.
She went to college.
She's super plug. That means the plug. That means I'm the plug in Dorchester using my dad's name, and I'm the plug
Yeah,
at college.
if you wanna.
I mean,
So it worked out. But go ahead. So what do you tip for these groups?
another tip, obviously, like we mentioned, is hire staff that are people of color,
Yes.
especially people from your neighborhood.
Yes.
I think another thing that these organizations tend to do is not hire people from Boston or not hire people from other cities. There is a disconnect from people that don't live in the city.
Yes.
And we need black people from Boston
Yes.
or like Latinos from Boston that have
Yes.
experience and know these circumstances, because if you don't have those people, you're not going to relate as easily. Obviously, it's easy to relate to a black or Latino staff because you know each other's stories and the experiences are similar. But when you're not from Boston and you do not know how the streets of like, if you don't know how like MLK Boulevard works, then you're not probably going to know how like my life works.
If you don't know that some of your youth are not going to be able to go to Washington Park, or some of your youth are not going to be able to go to Orchard Gardens, then you're not. It's not going to work.
Let me ask y'all a question. If there's limited resources, should they hire less staff but pay more money to hire good people from local?
I would say yes, because I personally believe that if you have a small number of actually dedicated staff, you get things done better than a bunch of people who don't know as well. Like I think it's a better use of your resources to have people who are specialized in this city or in wherever you are, at least Massachusetts, to really connect and understand what it's like to be a young person.
I agree with that. I asked that because while I was there in 2000, after 2000, there was a budget crunch, right?
Yeah.
And City Year lost a lot of money. And they said that part of the way they were going to fill the gap was they were going to cut the stipends they were paying. Stanley actually was a pioneer and said, don't cut the stipend. He said, don't cut the stipend, just hire less people. And they were like, no, we need more people. And he was like, no, because if you cut the stipend, you're only going to get white kids from college who can afford to work on that stipend.
Facts.
I say that in a big ups and as some shade, because big ups to you for calling it out the City Year, but we also have to do that. That's hard to do. And so can these youth organizations and this incoming executive director, who I've heard mixed reviews from about...
Oh, Nate, I gotta talk to you, bro.
I've heard mixed reviews. So, but I don't know him, but I'm just saying I've heard mixed reviews. So incoming, think about it, because it's easy to say that, to criticize others, and you're right, but it's harder to do it. So if you're going to have 7 program coordinators, or do you go to 5 and pay more and hire good people from local? And can you accept that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you should. I think the only worry is burnt out employees. I think that can happen fairly quickly with the small staff, is that you put too much on their backs too fast. But it's also your organization, as the head of the organization or right under, you should be able to know what a person can handle. And if you can't, that means you can't run an organization.
Or at the very least, you need to be open to their communication. You need to be open to them saying, I cannot do this in this time, or I don't think that we should take on. That was a part of the problem with my time as an associate program coordinator at Teen Empowerment. I was like, I don't think we can take on doing a summer version of the Peace Conference. And they were like, and some of us, there were a couple of us that had valid concerns, and some of the higher ups were like, but we want to? And I was like, okay, we'll bet. I'm going to have to struggle this whole summer and not get any sleep and stay out really late and go really early. And yeah, we didn't have any fun summer of 2017.
That ain't the way to do it. That just is not the way to do it.
And that's happening across the board in Boston, and that needs to be changed, because if it doesn't change, that means we're doing a disservice to our community, directly, which means that the kids, we're at a point right now where violence is increasing in Boston. As we know, violence in Boston, follow that, keep updated with that. youth homelessness is up. There are so many issues that are happening within the city of Boston, and if our organizations that are focused on helping the youth are not doing their job, then something is wrong, because you don't deserve funding if you can't help the youth.
Shout out to my homie. So first of all, shout out to my cousin Sasha Cantu. She's still going hard. I love her. She's like a burst of energy, and she's mad woke. And she's
glad
like,
you called.
She's like Illuminati, like Farrakhan Vic Mama. She's like Farrakhan moms out here. So I love her. But so Amy Marie Blanchett, dope sister from Fall River, who ran for school committee, is running again. I can't wait to have you and Erica on when Erica responds. She's also running for mayor. Shout out to these two amazing sisters.
Elected school committees, Boston get hit.
Facto.
So she said, when I ran for school committee, I participated in Youth Violence Prevention Forum. They asked every candidate, city council, school committee, and mayor plans to help youth succeed in Fall River. It was the best and most memorable experience of my time running, sitting and listening to these kids talk about gangs, drugs, homelessness, adoption. I've kept my promises, whether elected or not. Not many elected have. They haven't, and I
That's
can't wait
factual.
to get you elected, fam. I love her.
Also,
she's going to be on next month.
City of Boston, this is where you're trash, because you'll get specific organizations to come that you know won't speak the truth, and that's where you're messing up big time, because you're messing up our public schools by not having the people actually affected every day by violence, homelessness, and like hunger, which happens a lot in our city as well.
Starvation. Imagine people in America dying of starvation. That's happening here. It's not happening somewhere else. It's happening here in Massachusetts and Boston. And the mayor of the city of Boston has way too much power. I know it's an impossible thing, but I really hope one day, like if I ever make it to the point where I can do this, I will run for mayor just to weaken the office of the mayor. Because
we heard it here.
Because
Malachi for mayor.
There's no
Make Boston unique again.
Facts. There's no reason the mayor should have so much power over like school committees, over superintendents. These should be elected positions where, you know, or at least school committee, which is elected, appointed positions where people can, you know, actually have their say, actually have not some random person like, yeah, anyway.
I think the school committee should be like any woman, any mom from the community, and I say moms because dads are largely F-ups, but any mom from the community with 5 kids or more should just be on the school committee. Even if it has to be 1,000 people, that's who it should be. Because they all got small kids, they got mad kids in the school system. You know what I'm saying? You got a kid in preschool, kid in kindergarten, 2 kids in kindergarten, you got a kid in middle school.
Yeah.
But yo, man, I mean, I believe in it. Elected school committee. So we're talking about now moving on to violence in Boston. What can we do to solve violence in Boston?
Yeah, I think it really comes back to what we were talking about earlier. We really need to. It's a hard question, but we really need to focus on doing the things that actually work, like making sure people are not on the streets, making sure people are, you know, have homes to go to and are not disconnected from schools and you know, have job opportunities and have a hope for the future. Like, the youth homelessness in Boston is so high, it's ridiculous, and no one is correlating that to the
Violence?
Yes, to the violence that is, you know, growing in Boston, and I think it's a huge part of it. And you know, people, we really need to buckle down and actually want to fix it, because I think there are a lot of people in our you know, in our city government, in our, you know, whatever, that don't want to really fix the issue. Like, they're like, oh, violence is bad, this is terrible, but they're not willing to put their money where their mouth is. They're not willing to actually fund after school programs. They're not willing to actually fund youth jobs. They're not willing to find an answer to youth homelessness. And that's why this violence, if you want to stop violence, you need to go to the root cause. Like Monica says a lot, it's not banning guns. None of the guns these people have are legal. Like, that's not gonna help in this specific situation. Like,
yo, shout out to the homie. Where was that comment? Damn, that was deep. Oh, that's who said it. Somebody said it. Oh, Dalida Hosha. Shout out to Dalida Hosha. She said it's not about needing money, it's about allocating money.
yes.
The city Boston budget every year is almost $3.5 billion. The cops take almost 10%, almost 350 M's, and they use 40 to 60 for overtime every single year. So when the youth groups are dying and are saying, yo, can we get 8 million? And there's not 8 million for them, but there's 350 million for police, including 40 to 60 in overtime. Shut up about needing more money. And that's what gets me mad about the black and Latino people that work for the mayor, because I don't need to shame y'all. Do your job. I hope you're in those circles advocating for our community. I hope you're sort of plugging us. But I get mad when they come on, they get defensive because they work for this man, right? They work for Marty. So they then get defensive and they jump on posts and they're like, oh, he don't have a magic wand. Well, we don't want him to have a magic wand. We want him to use the very easy $8 million
How about the
wand.
solutions that existed when the Boston Miracle happened? I know Monica says this all the time, but these solutions are there. It's not rocket science.
Like,
we know
it's based on us.
We know how to affect change.
Yeah.
But we don't do
Minneapolis did
it.
it. Lowell, Mass did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They did it in Richmond, California. Anywhere that they've ever done it, they base it on the Boston
Somerville.
Miracle. They send public officials to come here to learn our ish and implement it over there, but we're not implementing
And now
it
we're
here.
effectively going back
Facts.
to it. And,
like,
and it's mind-blowing because we're the example, like, you could at least try to do this again, at least try to replicate the model that you had in the late 90s and early 2000s and see if it works. Try that. Don't say, no, this is not happening. Don't say this is not possible. We did it once. We can do it
Even
again.
though it worked. It's called the Boston Miracle. I get
Yes.
annoyed, man. I get annoyed. And then they say, like, oh, we have to solve it as a community. I don't know that we do, fam.
no.
Like, I don't know that we do. We don't ask
We
white
don't.
communities to do that. We give them resources.
That's my problem. I need people of color especially to stop saying, if we want respect, we have to respect ourselves. No. People deserve respect. As human beings, respect is something you deserve. It doesn't matter if you're a black human being. It doesn't matter if you're a disabled human being. You deserve respect no matter what. It doesn't matter if you abuse drugs, if you're a criminal. You still deserve respect. I don't know where people lose this idea and think that people just, oh, that person's trash. They don't need anything. Like,
Word.
that's ridiculous. And also the other thing, please don't use the term black on black crime. It's not. I
hate that.
It's used to put black communities down. Of course, more black people commit crimes against black people. That's because that's who you live near. That's who you live with. We're in a segregated country. More white people commit crimes against white people because that's who they live near. More Asians commit crimes against Asians because that's who they live near. This is what happens. Like that. Saying that is just a way to shame black people into saying, oh, I guess we shouldn't ask these people for help because we're doing
I beef
it.
with people, and one thing that people love to say, and it's popular, it gets you a lot of laughs, is like, we need to get mad when we kill each other as much as we do when the police do.
And we do.
I hate that. And I'm like,
we do
okay,
get
so
mad.
like the Mother's Day Youth March.
How about all those peace walks, all of those events that mothers hold? Those don't happen, I guess.
Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. And
I guess.
And I thought police were like these really great guys that we should hold to high esteem. I thought maybe we should hold them to higher esteem than random people that don't have that position.
Yeah.
So I think it would make a little more sense to be outraged when the police do it because they're supposed to be like
Of course.
the model citizens of our country. So why are they?
And like we'll go to jail when we get caught, and
Facts.
they won't.
Facts.
So like here's like a big difference about it is that like if a black guy shoots a black guy and they know that he did it, he'll get arrested.
Like,
when
they
a
might
white
not-
cop shoots a black guy, he gets paid administrative leave for 90 days. Great stuff. He gets a lot of work done, a lot of tweeting. Probably tweeting with his boy Ricky Gross. Shout out to Rick Gross on the emotional Twitter rants. Oh, I ain't even gonna slander him too much. I'm glad he's police commissioner. I think he's the best one we've had so far, which is very sad, but like not shocking when you're talking about police commissioners. I think he's the best one we've had, but that whole emotional Twitter meltdown.
He needed to stay away from
is
the coon
embarrassing.
train. The coon train, he needed to not hop
It
on
was
it.
coming.
And it's forgivable-ish.
I mean,
But we need.
Ish.
I support the black
Ish.
man, but y'all gotta chill out.
I'm glad he's there. I'm not gonna like pile white
Facts.
supremacy on
He's
his head.
a great person. Like when you're talking to him, he's a great
Yeah,
person.
he
He's
told
done incredible things.
stories about me for years about how I made that cop that made that. You remember that video that cop made where he was like, "This summer, black people, watch out." He talked about me for years. Like, yeah, she made that guy cry. I was like, I did, but he also made me cry because why? Why'd you do that, sir?
Word. But it's funny. I mean, no, just the Trump emotional Twitter rants. Try to not do that.
Twitter fingers are strong out here.
Try to not do
Step
that.
back off of it.
But I want to shout out to brother Rasan Hall who said, also shout out to Sasha, shout out to Julia Mejia who's on. What up, Julia? Rasan said, like Tupac said, they said when it rains and pours, they got money for war, but can't be the poor.
Facts.
They said there's no hope for the youth, but the truth is ain't no hope for the future.
Exactly.
Damn right. I mean, we spend about $1 trillion a year on war-type things, and we don't have $200 billion a year for Medicare for all and healthcare. We don't have $8 million. Like they got. Remember, Marty was promising Amazon $75 million
Or the Olympics
to
before
let
that?
them. Oh my God, the Olympics were about to bilk us for like $1 billion.
Yo, I have a problem with Marty Walsh. Like, sir, oh my God. Yo, you know, I really half of the reason I wanted Marty Walsh to no longer be the mayor is because every time he says a speech at any youth event, he says the same thing. He goes, yeah, I think he thinks this makes him, like, you know, relatable. He's like, yeah, my parents were Irish immigrants and I was an alcoholic, and we're like, cool, like.
Yeah, he said that as a youth. I saw him say that 3 times, like verbatim. Hi, I'm Marty Walsh, and I was an alcoholic, and my parents are first-generation Irish immigrants. And I was like, okay, congratulations. Do you want an award? You're already the mayor.
You're like, yo, shout out because your grandmother threw a rocket like my grandmother on a bus.
Facts.
All those people, all the white people in Boston,
down her
you
whole
either
house.
left white flight or you threw rocks at like.
My mom grew up on
grandma.
Adams Street, and she was one of like the only like Hispanic households to have existed on that street at the time. And they used to like throw racial slurs at her and like throw stuff at her as a kid. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're Irish immigrant, ain't nothing to me.
Like,
Oh man.
I don't know, man.
All right, I want to hear from y'all one thing that you would say to young Black and Latina sisters, because I think that this is a time where Black Girl Magic is popping.
Yes.
And we're seeing like just an emergence of just amazing people. And I have found my spiritual journey, my real spiritual purpose is to empower, protect the goddess. And I've noticed, I've learned that just recently, last month, literally, I learned that in a spiritual retreat that I did. And I learned that that's my purpose. And I just feel like, you know, that's where I feel like our liberation comes from. It's from when Black and Latina women take over. And that's how we get to the promised land. And I see y'all as such role models. If I had a daughter, I'd be like, yo, look over here. You know what I'm saying? So what do you say, man, to young sisters of color, man, in the hood?
I would say, I would say to not, don't just accept what somebody tells you. Like, go for yourself, find things out. Like, do your own research. You know, really. I'm kind of I'll go off a little bit of a tangent here. A lot of my life, I spent trying to make myself make other people comfortable, and I think as Black people, what's going on? I think as Black people we do that very often. We try to make, you know, other people comfortable, and as a Black woman, you know, you always get the you're angry. Oh, are you upset at me? Do you not like me? And I'm sitting here so confused because I'm having a great day until someone tells me I seem angry, and I'm like what happened? Like, you know. And I think you need to, you know, we need to break out of that wanting other people to feel comfortable or feeling like, you know, we're worried about what this person is like saying about us. Like, our power comes from the fact that we can make them uncomfortable. We can be feminine, we can be, you know, gentle, we can be kind, but we can also be strong, and you don't have to be either, you know, or you can be both. Like, you're not a monolith. Like, Black Latino women, you're not the stereotype. You're not the loud, angry. You're not the, I don't know what they say, like central lover or whatever.
You're not Shanae.
Like, you don't have to be
You're
that.
not you're not Lucy.
And if you're hood, if you're ghetto, that's cool, bro. Be that if you want to be that. Like, if you want to wear a bright colored weave, I'm for it. Like, just make sure you're doing it because you want to do it, and you're, you know, making sure that's what you want to do. Also about, you know, like I said, about doing research for yourself. Don't just accept what the people tell you. Don't just, you know, accept, like, when, like, I think a lot of that is Facebook stuff also. Like, people see one post and like, oh yeah, this is factual. But, you know, really look into it. Like, check your sources. And then the good thing about having sources is that when you get into an argument with someone and they say something totally ridiculous, you can say, well, I read in Routers that this and this and this, and they surveyed this many people, and they can't argue with you then. Like, you're sitting there cool, calm, and collected, and they're like spluttering because they don't have any evidence. They just made it up. Like,
word.
I guess
It is with it.
some other advice is like find something that interests you. I think a lot of the times like we just kind of like, especially like for me, I didn't really know what I was interested in. I knew there was one thing I was good at, which was school. And if you're not good at that, that's okay too. Like,
Damn,
you can
man,
find your lane.
We need more Latinas that are like good at school. One thing I'm good at is school. That's fire, yo.
I mean, you have to find something that interests you and really makes you excited to like progress. And especially like, I know a lot of people like struggle with education, especially Latinos and Blacks, because we don't have the resources. We don't have families that can be home with you like every day and read to you and help you with your homework.
Word.
We need to find avenues to kind of help kids grow and express their interest in things. And like when you can find a lane, when you can find, like me and Malaysia have found this to be something that really excites us and makes us interested and gives us something to do every day. When you can find your voice and you can find a lane that you're interested in, it kind of changes your whole perspective, which is why organizations like TE are important, because for a lot of people, you don't know what's outside of like your block until you kind of walk outside of it.
or even if you do, you never imagine, like, when, like, think about like us in school, or the only thing they ever, you know, push us towards, like, okay, so you're going to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, something like that. They never tell you that there are so many other things that you can do, and you don't even have to starve while you're doing them. Like, you can actually do other things. You can work with your community. You can start a business. You can do this and that. And no one they don't ever tell you that, especially women. They never tell women that they can go out and do anything they want. And also, I think it's important
If
to
anything, we say stay in.
facts.
Right?
Yes.
Stay in your house, stay in
you
your
should be
area.
cooking. Your man can do great things. Behind every
Yes.
great man is a
great
better woman and all that kind
Like
of
go
go
man's
to,
world,
go to
yeah.
college to meet your
wild.
husband, not go to college to find what you're interested
To
in.
be you.
Like,
I want a few more from each of y'all because I'm not into the mansplaining, so I'm not even gonna touch it. But more gems for young sisters from two bosses like y'all.
Like I said, I think we really limit ourselves on what success means, and I think it's important that we expand our definition of success. Like, success doesn't just mean you got rich and you moved out of your hood. Success can mean, you know, you bettered yourself. You went from this station in your life up to a better station, and now you're helping people, or now like you were able to buy a house, or now you were able to get an apartment and start a family, and now you have kids in school. That can be success. And when it's I think a lot of times when it's success that's kind of like specific to women, like having kids and that sort of stuff, we treat it as something negative. Like I think that I think that the one thing in your life doesn't have to be something that defines you. Like, if you want to be defined as a mother, like if somebody says like I'm a mother and that's how I feel, and I love being a mother, and that's me, that's great. But you can be like other people, if they don't feel that way, they can be a mother in something else. They can be a mother and an organizer. They can be a mother and a doctor. And I think we really limit ourselves on what women, especially women of color, can do. And also because of I think because of how our culture was set up, like I'm talking specifically about like black, and when I say black, I mean like black and like black Latino culture is set up. Like if you think about like first wave feminism, it was about white women, sort of getting out of their house so they could go and work and stuff. But for black women, we've always been working. We've always been somebody's maid or doing this and that because we had to. That was part of our culture. So, in a lot of ways, feminism didn't and couldn't connect with us. And it's similar today, but it's grown, I think. But so I think we have to really examine, and I think because of that, black people feel like they don't need equality for women because they're like, well, I mean, you guys work, or oh yeah, my wife's in charge of the house, da 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 da. She's my boss, blah blah blah. So they feel like there's no societal difference between a black man and a black woman, and there is, and I think
Let me say to the brothers, that's a joke.
I think that we need to examine our cultural issues. I think, yeah, that goes into a lot what's happening nowadays.
We want y'all to be queens. We the king. Chill, queen. Support us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want... People are losing their minds right now. There's a whole crew of, in some cases, good men that are black and Latino that are losing their minds because there's not a man of color on the Boston City Council. Mm-hmm. There has not been a man of color on the Boston City Council as of January of 2018. It has yet to be 1 year without a man of color, and we're losing our effing minds. Yeah. And brothers are literally rallying to get a guy back on. And we had 70 years, we had more than that, of no women. The first woman of color was in 2009. Was after a black man. Think about that. A black dude won for governor of Massachusetts and a black guy won for president before a woman of color of any color won for Boston City Council.
Yeah.
And women waited, so when people of color bursted on was like the 70s, and women waited from the 70s to 2009 to get a first woman.
Yeah.
But now that there hasn't been a guy for a year, we're losing our freaking minds.
That's another thing. Women are always women of color are always expected to wait for our liberation. Like I think to a lot of men of color, our issues are not as to them they don't seem as urgent, but to us we know we have the issues you guys experience, plus like we never talk about the fact that a lot of women of color get killed by police, and that's not lessening the
more
murders
likely
of
than men. That's a real fact. More likely than men. You just don't hear about those. But go ahead.
And that's not lessening the fact that men getting killed by police is terrible, and it's important that we stop it. But we need to be able to talk about both things. And women, we need women not to be we don't need to be waiting for our liberation anymore. We need to be going for it and getting it now. It shouldn't come after our boyfriend, our brother, our husband. It needs to come with them and now, and we need to be on a level playing field.
Yeah, that comes with another tip. It's okay to put yourself first. Like finding a man, your family, like you're okay to put yourself first, because chances are once you focus on yourself and like who you are and who you can become, your family will be 10 times better versus you overworking yourself trying to support everyone that you can't support because you don't know who you are and you don't know what you can become. And that means you're single, like me and Malaysia, just single, alone, that's fine.
It's okay.
You can chill with that. That's fine.
And it's also okay to this is for women specifically. It's also okay to be the first to talk to a dude. Sometimes dudes are dumb.
Bag us on the street. Cat call us.
Sometimes
drive by and be like, "Hey, yo, what's up, bruh?
See
the bulge."
The issue is y'all like that. That's the worst part.
Yeah,
that's the
problem.
Trash.
Y'all like
We're
that.
so trash. Y'all can't even turn it around on us. Because if women are flying and everybody noticed, I see y'all smirking. I see Doobie smirking. You know, Doobie, that if a woman leaned out of a car while you were walking and was like, "Hey, booty,"
probably not like that, but like better.
And probably,
we would be more poetic about it, probably.
Down. Well, you probably would be. If you were as ratchet about it as us,
it would still work.
It would work. We'd be like,
100%.
Yeah, down. And that's
totally, yeah. But yeah, you can definitely go up to dudes and say, "Hey, how you doing? Can I talk to you for a minute?"
It is completely okay to take control of your own life.
Bag the brothers. Bag some brothers.
Facts.
Do what you want. It's very important that you learn to have autonomy of yourself.
You gotta love you.
Especially as like a teenage woman, like Latina and black women are often so like, that's when you're like sexualized the most, and a lot of like gross stuff happens to you when you're a teenager. That can really like mess you up for like your life. So you need to be very mindful with your like heart and body and soul, and make sure that you're learning about yourself and learning about your environment. And that's the most important thing that I think people should always do, is always be learning about yourself.
Facts.
Always learn about like the world around you and how like if you want to make a change, how you can do that, but how you can make a change about yourself.
And treat yourself good, bro. You gotta treat yourself good.
One time I heard a homie when I was in my teen empowerment days, and this hit me. I heard a young woman gave a dope poetry slam at like Critical Breakdown, and she was like, because last time I checked, human beings don't answer to no bird calls, because she was challenging the movement, right? And I felt so terrible because I was like, damn, I've bagged so many girls doing the
You know,
You do it. If you do it, if you're in the hood and you're like, she gonna turn around and next thing you know the ice is broken.
She gonna
Now
turn around and
run
cuss you
over.
out.
Well,
Yo,
I mean, no.
for me,
sadly, a lot of times she gonna turn around and you have a moment and you can talk to her and potentially get a number.
Try
Sadly.
it. Try it with Alejandra. Try it. I want to
for
see
me,
you try it.
for me,
Not the
I don't. It's. I know other people have different feelings about this. For me, it's not necessarily the cat calls, like the hey, how you doing, all that stuff that bothers me. It's the when you don't quit. Like when I'm like the best days are when I get a hey, how you doing, and I'm like, hi, you know, how are you? And they're like, you know, can I have your number? And I'm like, I'm sorry. And they're like, okay, have a good day. That's the best day. I'm never upset about that. That's totally fine. But then you get the people who want to follow you, the people who want to scream at you. I'm like, I don't.
That's terrible.
Yo, I have so.
We have too many stories.
It's crazy to me because I didn't realize for the longest time that men who are not trash don't realize that other men do this. Like I remember I was talking to Leon. I don't know if you're still here, Leon, but I was talking to him one time. We were, you know, it was me, Alejandro, and like two other dudes. Facts. Me, Alejandro, like two other dudes, and we were talking, and me and Alejandro were talking about, you know, dudes following us. Like some dude one time threw something at me when I worked at Forever 21. He threw some socks at me because I wouldn't talk to him. Then he went to my coworker. My coworker went to lunch. He went up to her and was like, I still love her. And I was like, I don't know him. Yo, girl, I don't know him.
Like, we're so terrible.
And I remember Leon was like, oh, do you fight them, right? You know, you do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we can't fight somebody every day. Like you can't get in a fight every day. Like, I mean, when they start putting their hands on us, I mean, that's when it's time. But like, you can't fight somebody every day. Like, and I said this earlier to you when we were coming over here. Like, okay, when I know for a fact that at least one person on my Facebook friend list has probably been sexually assaulted this year alone. I'm talking 2019 in the last week. I know that I was at the club on New Year's Eve and I was dancing with some dude and his hands end up under my dress, between my legs. And like at that point I'm just like, and people always ask, you know, why didn't you say anything? Why didn't you tell anybody? At that point, you're just like, you get to a point, you're like, someone's touching. Like, what do I do? Like, it's not really that bad. He's not really hurting. Like, should I? Do I? And I just, you know, I just got it because I was with a group of people. Alejandro's there, and so I just got back to our booth, and I just sat down. I just sat down next to my friend, and like, just, you know, I just sat down next to him, like, you know, I don't even feel like doing it anymore, dancing anymore. But I'm like, it. You don't even know what to say. Like, do you go tell the bouncer for them to say, oh, but he didn't do anything. You did, but it wasn't really any. And like that's uncomfortable. I think for women, we don't realize how abnormal it is, because for us it's normal. And I don't mean it's normal as in it feels okay, it's fine. I mean, it happens so often that it's just part of your life as a woman. Like I encourage any guys listening to this, if you know, to talk to their sisters, their daughters, their girlfriends, their wives, and you know, if these women are willing to talk to you, ask them about their experiences with, you know, harassment and sexual assault, because the answer might surprise you. You might not realize that, like, every day I've had to shove dudes away in the train station because they're trying to grab my friend and hug her and you know, touch my knee. And some dude followed me and Alejandro almost all the way to Forest Hills talking about, I want to pimp you out, da 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 da.
Damn,
and
son.
I'm like,
Yo,
and finally this is in front of all, we're on a tee, so it's in front of a bunch of people. Finally one guy is like, okay, like, they want you to stop. They ask you to stop. Please stop. And like this whole time, I'm saying, please stop. You know, we don't want to talk to you. Like, you're harassing us. We don't want to talk to you. And I've said these words, you are harassing us. And they're like, oh no. Like one dude was like, he asked some other guy sitting next to him.
Freedom of speech.
He asked some other facts. He asked some other guy sitting next to him. He's like, oh, am I bothering them? Is this okay? And the dude was just like, he didn't know what to say. I'm like,
shout out to one of my dogs, Jonathan Boz, by the way. He told me the other day, and I appreciated it from a man. I showed him that video, and I might have sent it to y'all. I sent people that video of the girl beating dude down at McDonald's. Yes, oh, my God. And I wrote, this is how the Fantastic Four, Ayana, Rachel, Nika, and Liz defeated white supremacy. But what was crazy is that he was like, yo, how are grown men standing there and not saying nothing?
Yeah.
And I was like,
like
ooh,
many grown men
and
just
I
sitting.
love that because I
It's
love that he
really-
was. I was like, yo, you're right. We have to be willing to. If you're gonna be a true ally, you put some of yourself at risk as
It's
well.
kind of, it's really
to
big.
protect.
And it's and the thing is that a lot of the men who men respect the words of men. Like if that guy on that train would have said, "Yo, dude, this not okay, dude. What's wrong with you?" That guy probably would have stopped. But and then, like I said, it took another guy and the other time it took another guy intervening and telling him, "Yo, like they don't want to talk to you, bro. Like, come on." And it took him to finally get that guy off the train and leave us alone. And that's all you need to say. I'm not asking you to put your life on the line for me, but I just really need people to not be bystanders. Just even if you want to shout it from all the way at the end of the car, like, "Yo, chill out, bro." Like that's all you need. Like. And
Act like you're
it's
calling
so,
the police. Don't actually call them because they might shoot you and
Facts.
her
Yes.
and the other guy.
Facts.
But like, act like you are.
And
Be
it's-
like, yo, man, I'm calling right now. My uncle a cop.
And
He's
it's-
Ricky Gross.
And it's so it'll be so appreciated by the women you're helping. Like
I don't know if to drop this bomb. We'll end with this. It's a downer, but we're gonna go upper. But one of my sisters who went through a lot and recently hit me with something that bugged me out, and she said, there have been many occasions where I have slept with someone because it was just easier to do it than not to do it and to deal with that. And I think about all the times where we hung out with women, and I think about all the times and what we learned from men who were supposed to be teaching us. And I remember I put myself on blast. Like my OGs were always like, yo, whip out. Be the whip out person, because then you can just learn if they want it or not, and then you can just move on, which is messed up, right? So it was like, yo, whip out. And like, so if in the year 2000 I whipped out on like 30 girls, believe that 28 were like, nah, right? Like I was never Rico Suave, so like I never did well. But I was the whip out, like I was about that because my OGs taught me that, right? And when she hit me with that, the amount of times, and we had a real deep conversation, it really hit me one day. I was like, damn, yo, so many of us don't realize how often we've had unconsensual sex. Sometimes you know about it and sometimes you don't know about it. And I'm not trying to say that to take you off the hook. I'm just trying to say that when you're in situations, sometimes y'all hanging out in a house with a group of girls and you deciding to whip out and all this other stuff, sometimes that can put somebody in these awkward, like you talked about with the club, these awkward social situations of like, what do I do? Like that, this is a dilemma. Like, what do I do? Do I say something here? Do I do something with him? Do I not do something? Like, what happens here? Like, if I don't, do I get clowned for that? What happens to my social status? Am I safe here? Because I believe there's coercion is rape,
Most
right? If there's
definitely,
20
yes.
dudes and one girl and you're like, she decided to be here and sleep with us. Like, yo, fam, is she completely safe there? Like, there's 20 of y'all. Like, that's coercive. I don't believe she can consent among 20 men like that. So, it's all, but yo, man, a lot of y'all, like, yo, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. So don't be creeps. Let's try
Right.
not to be
Rule
creeps.
number 1, don't be a creep.
Let's try to be better men.
how would you want to be treated like?
Let's not be sex predators. Okay. Sounds about white.
Facts.
Sounds about white. That's one of our segments. Sounds about white. I want to highlight a couple
So
things
many
that have
things.
happened. First of all, the sister that beat that dude down at McDonald's. And like a classic abusive man. I grew up in a home with DV violence, unfortunately. And like one thing you learn about men who beat their women or who beat women in general is that they'll hit a woman who's not going to hit them, and they not trying to have that smoke with the woman who is about that smoke, right?
Yeah.
So the girl bung him up at the counter. That's what we see. What you don't see is that as he was being escorted out, there was another woman that was like holding doors and stuff, and he ended up kicking her in the stomach. So that's what we didn't hear. Oh, we got a caller, right? Caller, who that? Who there? Yo, caller, who that? Who there? No? Oh, okay, they hung up.
Right.
So shout out to that sister. I heard she got fired, then I looked into it, then I heard she didn't get fired. So we're going to watch that.
I
and
hope
if
she
we, if
didn't
we
get
find out
fired.
she got
Come
fired,
on.
we're on it.
He
Believe
Yeah,
it or
that's
not.
snatched,
right.
she tried to
Fired,
snatch
yeah.
her over a counter.
Dragged her. And like a classic man, he then got mad at her for being
Said, "You
violent
should-
and trying to get her
You should be fired.
So another one is, shout out to the brother Jermaine Massey from Oregon, a very progressive state, by the way. This is why I talk about sometimes progressive white supremacy. A very progressive state like Oregon, one of the most progressive in the nation.
But also, Oregon, Washington, and California have the highest percentage of white supremacists, like, in the
Of course.
country.
Yeah, they
And
do.
people don't know that because they think, oh, these are states where, like, a bunch of white hippies live,
Yeah.
and they
Yes.
recycle.
They're like, that's not
and they're
Alabama.
clean." And they're like, no, they're just as racist as anybody in the South or anybody in, like, South Boston.
Word. That like Malcolm X used to say, stop talking about the South. He was criticizing people in the Northeast. He was like, stop talking about the South. He's like, as long as you're south of the Canadian border, it's South.
That's a fact.
He's like, they'll lynch you in Texas as quick as they'll lynch you in New York as quick as they'll lynch you in Texas. They'll just do it with a New York accent. Jermaine Massey, ooh, that's my jam. I'm a lady, I'm not the... I'm sorry, they're playing Bam Bam. Come on, I'm gonna play that on the way home because that's my jam. So, Jermaine Massey, black man, he's walking into a hotel. He's got a hotel. He gets a call from his mama. Takes a call in the lobby.
Oh, we watched that video.
Confront him. Bam. So those 2 people were fired. I'm glad.
Good.
Baltimore white cops are suing Marilyn Mosby, who is the Thanos of Baltimore. She's the Rachel Rollins of there. She's been there for a little bit now. They're trying to sue her, and you see that they've been doing the same thing with Thanos. They're coming at her, trying to do lawsuits and all this stuff.
She hasn't. She barely been in office, and they're already trying to get her.
We need to protect her.
At all
Yes.
costs.
We need to
That's it.
protect her.
That's all.
Facts.
And we will go to war for this. And because they're trying things. And one thing they're going to try, and I'm prepping people for it now, so when it happens, you don't blame her. There's a history, a documentation of this happening when progressives come in and change criminal laws and stuff like that. The cops in protest start letting crime strategically
Yes.
go,
Yeah.
responding
They said
late,
that they were gonna do
doing
that.
things.
Yeah.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah.
They
do
said
that.
it aloud.
So what they do is that will then have crime spike.
And they'll
or
blame it on
things will-
Rachel.
and then they'll blame it on her. They're going to do this.
They are.
Please watch this. We're going to keep saying it so that when it starts to happen, we are ready to
Yes.
fight back because it is not her fault. You can't tell me that in order to keep people safe, you have to be able to stop and frisk black and brown people.
Nope.
You have to be able to beat them. You have to be able to kill them. You don't have to do that to keep us safe. So watch them. And even the Bernie bros who I hate, the Bernie bros that are attacking Elizabeth Warren, attacking Kamala Harris. I saw them attacking Elizabeth Warren, calling her a corporate dem, calling her a fake. They attacking Kamala Harris, calling her a cop. Would we say that about Rachel? Would we say that about, Wesley Bell in St. Louis? Would we say that about Marilyn Cosby in Baltimore, or Kim Foxx in Illinois? It's like, these are amazing people. So if Rachel ever becomes Attorney General, which I hope she does, we're not gonna slander her like, oh, she's a cop, and put her with other cops and put her with like the problem.
Just be honest about if you think they have flaws, be honest about them. Don't make up flaws. Like you gotta.
They do it to protect Bernie.
Facts.
And so shout out to 2 progressive white supremacists, Charlie Keller and Nancy Steinberg. Nancy's from Chicopee and Charlie's from Boston. And they have been completely dragging Kamala, dragging Elizabeth
See,
Warren,
the
using
major
racially
issue with
charged
that
things.
is that it's pretty much ruined Bernie Sanders for a lot of people of color.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I think
Y'all hear that? It ain't just me. Listen to the
he
sister.
hasn't been able to rein in his supporters the way he should be able to because it's ruining his look. Like, as much as he has great policies, he can do great things and say great things. If your followers are going to be that trash, they're going to ruin you.
Like, y'all know I don't support, if you know me, y'all know I don't support Kamala Harris for president, but like, we don't need to be holding her to any higher of a standard than we hold anybody else to. And I think that's what happens a lot with these women politicians. We hold them to a higher standard than we hold anybody else to. How does that work?
Yes.
If you're gonna think, if this person is okay in your mind and they do this thing, then this other person should be equally okay in your mind. Like, like I said, everybody has issues. Everybody has things that are that you can come at them about, but it's about harm reduction. It's about who is going to cause the least amount of harm. Like, there's never going to be a perfect person to vote for. It's never going to happen. But who is going to cause the least amount of harm? And that's what we need to be focusing on. And not just harm for us. I'm talking about harm for other countries. I'm talking about, harm for poor people, for people who are not of your race. Who is going to cause the least amount of harm in this country? And that's what we should be thinking about when we're voting.
I love that. That's real. That's real. All right, I'm gonna move us on. Shout out to my homie Tommy McDonough.
Ooh, also another
Go ahead, do
white problem. Everybody attacking Alexandria.
Alexandria, yeah.
Foot's
Yeah,
working.
Cortez.
That was a great video. I love her so much more seeing her have fun in
They
that
just,
video.
it's white conservatives attacking her over nothing.
They attack
and
her for she's on Fox News more than probably Donald Trump at this point, because like she's on Fox News more than she's on any other like news network, like any other supposed left-wing news network. Like, I think you guys are giving her more clout than she even had to begin with. Like,
They're helping her.
I think they got her elected. Ain't nobody heard about her until suddenly the right wing hates her.
They love her. People love her over
do.
that video. I'm like,
do.
I'm glad you had fun at BU. I'm mad. I could have blazed with her at BU back in the day.
Thanks, right?
Damn. To the people from Boston who like blazed the L with AOC, salute to you.
Lucky you, bro.
Salute to you. I could have helped her out. You know what I'm saying? Alejandra would, or Dad would have been the plug. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, which I think is totally her. But yo, you know, like shout out to y'all. Tommy said, Calvin, reminder, there's still a few good white guys out there. We need y'all.
Oh, no,
we need y'all.
there
We need y'all.
are.
We need
Most
y'all to
definitely.
say it. We need you to say that. We need you to say Black Lives Matter. And you have been a brother that does that, so shout out to you. So the Love Doctor.
Go right ahead.
The Love Doctor.
Yeah, you need a little smooth thing in the back.
Doctor.
I need some music to that,
Yeah, you
right?
need a soundboard.
Damn it,
too.
it's not in the budget, Brian. We gotta get a theme song or something, man. We need a theme. It's a recession, people. It's a recession. Imagine something.
Yeah, get ready
We
for
can just
that.
harmonize something. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I can't really. I'm sick.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, would you like Jerome's song?
Doctor.
Don't you know no
Love
good? Don't you know no good? Okay. And I want to bring this to the homie, Childish Gambino, who had a hot take that I wanted to ask her, because as two young women that are in the hip-hop community, that are in the hood, that are whatever, I want to ask y'all, because y'all are young, you're close to this, and you probably are guilty of this. I'm about to put y'all both on blast.
Probably.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I don't know what it
I
is, but
bet
I'm
you are.
probably
Oh, you are. I know you are. I know you are. I know you are.
What is it?
So he was getting dinged for being with white women,
Uh-huh.
right? Which I don't want to say I'm completely against. I don't want to go there because it'll take us down a hole. I just want to say I don't think you should not date a white girl. I don't think you should not take her serious or have a kid with her. I don't think you should not do any of that. I do think, I hope, as men of color and even as women of color, that we have some value in building strong black and brown homes. And I'm down with it when it's more, like with any mixture of black and brown, any whatever. Sometimes even Asians count. Like, I'm down with any of those mixtures. But something matters to me about having two Puerto Rican sons who see a Puerto Rican mom and a Puerto Rican dad who loves her and who get brought to like Puerto Rican rallies and can really, I think there's value in that.
I agree.
So anyway, he was getting dinged. We're not going to go there because it'll go crazy. He was getting dinged for being with white women. He put black and Latino women on blast. He said that y'all don't like, and I believe him, sadly. He said y'all don't like nerds and that black women locally don't date black male nerds or men without swag.
Yo, I have.
Speak the truth.
Listen,
Tell the people the truth. All them good brothers you done passed on at BLA. You told them to get the F out your face. You didn't give them no, you clowned them.
No.
And
Listen.
you know she did.
She did. But listen. I need to tell y'all black male nerds something. First of all, y'all think you're special. I need y'all to know that every black man, I'd say under the age of 30, maybe even a little higher than that, every black man under the age of 30 watches anime and plays video games. So if that's your claim to nerd fame, you're not special. They all do it. My last boyfriend did it. Her last boyfriend did that. They're
playing
not
video games
nerds.
don't make you the nerd.
But
I mean, if you're legit a nerd.
But that's what they think, though. And the other thing I have to say about
he wasn't a nerd because he was playing video games. He was a nerd because he was a nerd.
I also the other thing I have to say about certain black nerds is that the reason that you think women don't like you is because you think women don't like you. And the other reason is because you don't want to date black female nerds. That's the other thing. They don't want to date the nerds. They want to date the chick that, of course, she's not going to talk to them. They want to date a supermodel.
I should have been prepared that she done turned this around
They
on
want
us.
to date a supermodel.
She's right.
And plus,
Don't none of us want y'all nerds.
I tweeted about this, and I you know that clip from Scared Straight where the guy goes and because your hair's uneven and you look dusty. That's what y'all be like. Why doesn't she like me in the same shirt he's been wearing for 3 days? Like,
Shower,
bro, it's not.
Turn this around.
Look, Childish Gambino be walking around like the dustiest person that don't shower. So if people don't want you, it's because you were probably, he did it.
What if that's just him trying to be on some old pro-black earth thing?
You can shower and be pro-black.
Damn it.
Pro-blackness means.
But what if
you
he
smell
showered
good.
and it just looked like he didn't because he's trying to be grassroots and authentic?
Does he want the black woman
Alright.
that wants to cosplay and wear like a Pikachu outfit? He doesn't want that black woman. He wants he wants the sexy, the whatever big booty and he wants the Instagram
Damn it,
model.
my wife's sexy and she got a fat old butt and she cool and she likes like twerking and reggaeton. Damn it.
Same.
It's the truth.
Those people want Instagram. Like, the thing is, you weren't getting them whether you were a nerd or not. Like, That's
Damn, another
that's a
fact.
T. Like,
I feel so bad. Y'all done turned this around on me. I should have been prepared for this pushback, knowing who I had on here. What do you have to say about it?
No, it's just if I'll say go look at Childish Gambino's interviews from when he was like started popping. He looked dusty as hell. He looked dirty. He didn't look like he brushed his teeth. And that's not somebody I'm messing with. So if somebody didn't want to mess with you, it's because probably something was wrong with you.
plus, people don't like people like just people in general don't like people who don't have self-confidence. Like, if you feel like you're trash, people are gonna feel like you're trash. Like, if a man,
Damn it, but what about those socially awkward brothers that don't have confidence and don't have swag?
there's a woman for them, but they don't want her. They want
Damn
homegirl
it.
on the volleyball team with the.
The love doctor, the menace match. The good Bishop Overseer said, "Has y'all met my wife? She married me." #nerd. You're a different nerd though, because you had the '90s, answer machine on Smash, and you got that whole voice, and you're smart, and he's tall, and
I
he
mean,
can
A
do that
Different
whole
World
thing.
show you that nerds could get it too. Like, have you ever watched A Different World? It's on Amazon Prime.
A Different World, like the
From
Cosby
back in
Show.
the day?
Yeah.
Yes, A Different
Yeah,
World.
yeah,
You've been
yeah.
watching
Is
A
that on
Different
Amazon
World?
Prime?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Oh, I love that. 'Cause
I
I'm
watched all
addicted
the
to those
seasons.
shows. Like, I have Martin the whole
Most of
DVD
those guys
series.
were kind of whack. They were nerdy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, why would you want any of them? But then you're like, oh, I guess your personality.
There's
is
So
Okay.
if
There's
he's
someone for
clean and he
everyone.
looks clean
If he's-
and he's handsome,
Yo.
but he's a complete nerd with no
That's
self-confidence, would
fine.
date him?
I probably wouldn't.
Well,
if he has
like-
no self-confidence,
Like what? Like
She told the
nothing?
truth, and you
Like,
saw her
no
girl.
self-
You saw her girl
Wait,
lying
like,
mad
I was
quick.
like, what
You
the
saw her
fuck?
girl lying mad quick.
What
We
the
gotta
fuck?
call her.
You
Who is this?
I might just break up with them.
Yo. Who that? Who there?
I hear some
Hey,
fumbling
this
with-
is Lee Nay. How's it going?
Oh, Lee! Hi, Lee! How's
Lee
Disney
Nays.
World?
Is this the Lee Nays that's running for city council? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
You say yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. This.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, man.
Hold-
You
hold
can't
on.
be running for city council with Metro PCS.
Stop, Calvin.
Lee, you hear us?
Lee, baby, try calling back.
Lee, we don't hear you. Call back. We only
Yeah.
got like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Call back. Call
yeah,
back.
Lee.
Ben said, come on, you about TV shows and claiming it as proof. Ooh, what do y'all say to that?
I mean, we take a lot
What are
of our,
some real life experiences
our-
where nerdy men bag the hot girl?
But I just want to say a lot of our inspiration and like things that we take are from TV. Like a lot of days like that, I don't be going out like that. What I learned from is like TVs and shows and other people.
There's no specific evidence because it literally happens all the time. Like I said, I went to BLA. I know so many people who are like booed up.
All those
Yo,
nerds were booed up.
They're all
all the
booed.
time.
I'm a nerd. I'm
All
a
the
nerd,
time.
but
Were
I'm
they
cool.
really?
So I'm
All
not
the
even. I'm
time.
not booed up. Oh, he's calling back.
He's calling back. He's calling back. Is that Lee?
Yeah, okay, first off, Calvin, I have regular T-Mobile.
All right, we know you got to say that now, brother. Go ahead. Are you running for city council?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I didn't want to
Hey.
spill that tea, but I saw that in some article.
I
I was like,
feel you,
ooh.
Lee.
I don't know you, but when I know from what I heard from where you worked, I was like, I want to rock with
Lee
He's
is
that.
an
that dude.
awesome
I love
person.
that guy.
Yeah.
And we got to come back for raising the age and for juvenile expungement. Go ahead, Lee. What do you want to say? Are you a nerd that bagged the fly one?
Yeah, you know, okay, so
See that?
I had a lot of issues with his statement when he made that a while back. Like, you know, I married a Asian woman, an Indonesian woman, but when I was, you know, younger and everything like that, real awkward nerd and everything, I never had issues with like anybody at all.
I
Like
feel you,
it's the
bro.
personality. It'd be friends saying like, "Oh my God, it's just so hard for me to date. Oh, these black women. Oh, it's so hard." And it was never that. It was the guy.
Yeah,
it was always the
you.
guy.
I always
Oh,
put the
don't
hashtag
even lie,
that my
you know
wife
it's
hates.
facts.
My wife hates this hashtag because we love a little bit of crazy. I always use it though. The fact that she might kill me one day makes me feel so alive.
That's how y'all behave.
Hey, that is real. Like,
I love this guy.
She a scientist,
Yo,
right?
me.
And like, if she killed me, people won't even know she did it.
Don't that add some spiciness, Lee? Don't that add some spiciness
Yeah.
to it?
Y'all are trash.
And you know I be
course.
trolling. I'm always almost about to get cut. She Puerto Rican. I be trolling. I
Oh,
always be
man.
about to be cut.
Y'all are trash.
Like about to be.
It keeps you on your feet. Keeps you on
Yeah,
your toes.
he's alive.
Yo, black men be like, all the black men want is peace. I'm like, you're a liar, because I seen the women you date, and you surely do not want peace.
No, we love a little crazy. Lee, you got the last word. Tell us something for 10 seconds, man. Tell us what you're doing, something. Where can we find info on you? What's up?
All right, so yeah, I'm still doing the whole website and everything like that, but I'm just looking forward to connecting with community members. I love both of y'all. Y'all know Alejandra in Malaysia. Definitely want to work with y'all as much as possible on a whole bunch of stuff, and
I feel you, bro.
I love this show.
Put me on your campaign.
Oh yeah. We'll talk.
So people, if you know, it is Austin, Brighton, right, Lee? Is that the case?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you live in
Austin,
Austin
Brighton.
or in Brighton, and I think it has like a precinct of Kenmore in there. But if you live in that area, Lee Laves Jr. is running. Good brother. Also, Ricardo Arroyo is jumping up. I'm love seeing these new people jumping in, challenging people. We've had Julia Mejia on here for a while. She's running at large. I'm loving seeing the new people jumping in. I respect y'all. I talked to Dave Halbert earlier today. I know him for a while. Like, I love seeing these people jumping in. Alejandra doing their thing. The Alejandra Senguyen who's running for Senguyen. But Lee, man, thank you, brother. Is there any way we can find your info? You want to plug anything? Is the website up, or is the Facebook page up, or what?
Y'all can find me on LinkedIn right now, but Facebook and Twitter are up already. They just my name, Lee Nave Jr. So feel free to follow.
You sound
add me as a
Southern, bro. Are
friend.
you from the South?
He is St. Louis, I believe, correct?
Midwest.
Yeah.
Midwest. Okay. All right.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Well, peace and love, man. Lee Names, check him out on LinkedIn.
And check
All
out
right, take care,
CFJJ. What's
CJJ, Citizens for Juvenile
Juvenile
Justice.
Justice.
Yes.
Support them and check out what they do because they do a lot of great work.
He's on LinkedIn. You know he was a nerd. He got so lucky with that Asian girl. You got so lucky. When you're the black guy, got back into Asian sometimes, it's a little unlucky because you're automatically cool to her. It's a little more cool. Like, you feel me? Come on now. Come on now.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. If he said, like, I bagged the hottest girl from the Burke, I'd be thinking different, right? If he's, I bagged the hottest girl in English high school, I would think a little bit different. You're going to come on here, you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, good for you, good for wifey. We are wrapping up. Y'all, I love y'all, man. I can't
love
wait
you
to see
too,
y'all
Calvin.
win, man. I want
So
to.
glad I met you.
Damn, man.
It's awesome.
I want to see y'all run for office. You know what I'm saying? You give up that drug life, you'll be an amazing elected official.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I
That's how
feel
I've been
like there are
telling
some
her.
elected officials that probably do that on the side too, you know?
Oh, of course.
I mean,
Of course. But that was us. That was our show, guys.
It was a great show.
it was great. I
Yeah.
loved it. I love being in front of the cameras.
I'm gonna have y'all back. I'll have
We'd
y'all
love
back.
to, love to.
Come
We'll
back
pop in.
anytime.
We'll pop in. So this has been Activist Hour on Violence. Oh, we forgot to drag R. Kelly. Really quick, dragging. Go ahead.
Yo, y'all
Some
been
dragging.
knew that man was nasty. I don't know why y'all acting brand new.
Seems like you're ready.
Y'all been new. Y'all watched that Boondocks episode. Y'all
Girl,
been new.
are you ready?
He married Aaliyah. Y'all been new. The man was nasty. Stop acting brand
Terrible.
new.
It's
R.
terrible.
Kelly should be in a jail cell, and that's all I'll say. Yes, his songs are good, but he should be in a jail cell for the rest of his life
Yeah.
for the atrocities he's committed against black women. That's it.
And for taking some of those classic records away from us. Like, F you for messing up.
I had
some
to
of the
skip
amazing
Ignition
music.
today.
I
You
did
know how
too.
hurt I
I
was?
skip a lot of those. Seems like you're ready. Seems like you're ready. Such a rapey track. How are you? Damn it.
He called himself the Pied Piper. Do you know what the Pied Piper did? He played music and led children away from their homes.
Damn it, man. This
Like,
is
he's
He's
terrible.
been telling us the whole time.
I mean,
My
people in
mind
Chicago.
is telling me no.
Facts. People in Chicago used to talk
Damn.
about how he would come to the school and like pick up girls at the high school, and everybody let him do it. Cause
Why was your
it's R.
mind
Kelly.
telling you no? Because she's 13, fam? That meant no.
Also,
Your mind was right.
if you see somebody that is like 20, 19 outside of a high school and they're not going to that high school, tell them to leave that premises immediately. I don't care if you're anybody. They shouldn't be hanging around teenagers at
just-
all
it's
unless
very
you
sad.
are
Damn it,
a
at
youth
18
worker.
and 19, it was cool for us to go to local
Yeah,
high
that's-
schools and
that's
like
not cool.
pick
You know
up
why?
girls who were like
Because
17.
That's
That's
just
messed up, yo.
That's just how you can
17.
lead girls into stuff that they don't want to
Ooh,
do.
I like what you said. 17 and 19, that's only
That's-
2 years.
it's
In some
not-
cases,
it's
a
like,
year and a
It's
half.
like 19 and 20. Once you can
once
start drinking.
Once you hit like 21, it's very suspicious for you to just be like if you're not mentoring,
It's very
if you're not mentoring a kid, it's kind of suspicious for you to just be hanging. Like I knew 20-year-olds that would hang out with 14-year-olds, and like I'm like that's cool if you're like that's your bro, that's your little brother. But sometimes you gotta recognize that you're in a different life point than that 14-year-old, and we need to understand that for dating too, because women not getting away with it either. Women who be dating little boys, you're nasty. You're not dating them. You're a rapist. It's nasty. Don't do it. You're 24 talking to a 15-year-old. It's nasty.
Are women nasty that are 24 that are in relationships with 18-year-old, 19-year-old men?
Lil Wayne said he lost his virginity to like somebody that used to like babysit him. He was raped pretty much.
Chris Brown also said that.
There are women that are predators.
All those teachers,
and it's problematic.
You don't see all those teachers that be dating
those young boys.
It's rape.
I'm not gonna get myself in trouble.
Do these women know how good like grown men look? Like
before I was woke, I won't lie. Me and my boys used to always say whenever those cases came out, like, cause 9 times out of 10 they'd be like beautiful women. Like, damn man, where was she when I was in kindergarten? But that's a terrible thing. We can't even be saying that, man.
It's like, a cultural problem. We assume that boys just want it and women, are not dangerous. But yeah, the assault happens. Men are the perpetrators a lot of the time, but women do it also.
We think we're even, because at 15, you always have a crush on some teacher.
Facts.
One of my mans, there was one teacher who's super beautiful, and my man, she had asked a question, and this kid in class was like, she looked at him, she was like, because he was grilling her, and she was like, do you have the answer? And he was like, yep. Looking at her, right? And she was like, and he just got caught, and she was like, well, are you going to just say it, or are you going to just stay there staring at me? And everyone was like, oh, it was hilarious. He got bopped up. But at 15, if she wanted a relationship, he probably would have totally obliged. But that would have been wrong.
It would have been
You
wrong.
don't even know that it would have been okay in the moment, but he probably would have had a problem with it 10 years later.
Yeah, it's...
All right. That has been Activist Hour. I'm your host, Calvin Feliciano. Shout out, a.k.a. Nat King Troll, a.k.a. J Troll, a.k.a. Troll J Simpson, a.k.a. Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, leader of the Troll Patrol. Shout out to Disrupt Boston. Shout out to the homie Brian Murphy and Michael Doobie. Shout out to my beautiful bae in the background. We about to have date night. We're going to blaze up and have dinner. And shout out to our amazing guest today, man.
Thank you.
I love you. Y'all are dope, man, in real life.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Want to see these sisters win. That is it. Peace and love. Please share this. Show us some love, man. Disrupt Boston. We out.